What's up guys, it's Will back again, and today's review is the 2013 romance drama film Her. First requested to me by Emiliano Del Llano and written and directed by Spike Jonze, Her takes place a little bit in the future where Theodore Twombly, played by Joaquin Phoenix, falls in love with an operating system named Samantha, voiced by Scarlett Johansson, and the two form an intimate relationship and begin dating. Theodore, a professional writer, recently went through a divorce and he's hesitant to romantically involve himself again, but he just can't help himself as he and Samantha form a complex relationship that evolves over the course of the film. Okay, so we have another interesting request here, and Her is definitely an interesting film because I remember seeing it back in 2013 and remember thinking, yeah, this is a very interesting film with a very interesting message and premise. And I still feel that way now, except this time I think that message was able to resonate with me a little bit more deeply, because the message to me when you boil it all down is that love comes in many forms, and that love can be joyous and it can be devastating almost at the same time. It can be supportive, it can be heartbreaking, and most importantly, it comes when you least expect it. I think that the relationship that Theodore and Samantha have was not one that either of them expected to have, and not necessarily one that they wanted to engage in, but it happened because it just works out that way sometimes. And I think as an adult, I can, identify with that a little bit more. Her is full of realities about love that I think many of us have probably experienced at one point or another, but it's also a unique love story because I don't think many of us could say that we fell in love with our operating system. What's interesting about that though is that it takes a relatively obscure story about a man dating his OS that is obviously not vastly relatable by any means, but it still is able to hook you and get you thinking about your own experiences with love because of the bigger themes at play. It's very insightful in that way, and it felt like sort of a similar approach to what Call Me By Your Name does. A story that has a specific relationship that isn't relatable to everyone, but has bigger themes about love that are. And I think there's two big reasons that this unusual relationship works so well in Her. The first is that it comes across as insightful, because once again, taken at face value, many people probably will and probably have elected to not watch the film because it's about a man who falls in love with his software. That's probably going to be considered just a little too out there for a lot of people. But I think one of the reasons you should watch the film is because it does have a lot of really important things to say about human nature. One of the biggest running themes that I notice is hesitancy. Theodore is a man that has seemingly played a lot of his life pretty safe, but Samantha challenges him and gets him to step outside his comfort zone, and that allows him to grow and evolve as a character and a person. Another theme is monotony, because before Samantha comes into his life, Theodore feels stuck in the monotony of his everyday routine and stuck in his life that he's unhappy with. He doesn't know how to change it. That is until Samantha comes along and she inspires him to change it. That's a big reason that this love story works as well as it does. The fact that these two lovers inspire and rejuvenate each other in ways that neither of them expected. This is similar, honestly, to what happened in La La Land, and a reason why it works so well as a romance story. And Her does the exact same thing. It takes a character or characters who feel stuck and unhappy, they fall in love and motivate each other, and they better themselves in the process. That's generally how great romances work in film. The second major reason this film works as well as it does is the characters and acting. There are a few characters of interest here, primarily Theodore and Samantha, but Amy Adams is also in this movie as a friend of Theodore's, named Amy funny enough, and she's good too. But the characters work because they feel special. They don't necessarily feel like everyday people, and that's part of the charm of the film. They're artists and they have slightly different interpretations of love and how it works. That's why when they interact with each other, or the other main characters as a whole, they don't bat an eye when Theodore explains he's dating an operating system. Besides one character, they pretty much always accept it and embrace it, and they treat it as if it were the same as any other romantic relationship, because they're unique individuals with a unique approach to love that lends itself to this specific story. But I also liked how the characters, mostly Theodore I'd say, are layered. They're layered because they come with baggage, and Theodore especially enters this relationship as sort of a broken man. He's a broken man because he's invested everything he had into love before, and it blew up in his face, and that's why he's super hesitant to ever go near any new romanticism ever again. That's why when he does go near it again, and it starts working out for him, you become invested as a viewer because he's just super easy to root for. He's a likable, friendly guy who's had a difficult time with his romantic life, and I think that's something that a lot of people can rally behind, no matter how unusual the relationship itself may seem. Scarlett Johansson is also really good here, because she relays a lot of emotion from just her voice, and I think the way that the chemistry that she and Joaquin Phoenix develop as actors over the course of the film, it's just remarkable. And I'd say it's remarkable because they're convincing you of a strong romantic connection between a man and an operating system. And in order for you to really buy into that as a viewer, the two actors have to go to the extra mile to really sell you on that connection. I think these two did a pretty remarkable job at that. It's definitely special. Another technical element I love was the music. I think that Her has a cool way of weaving its score into the actual scenes themselves, like how Theodore will play a song and Samantha will write a piece and play it on the piano for Theodore. It all adds to that immersive element that I always speak so much about. But the music also works very well when it's not actually played by the characters. The soundtrack was composed by Arcade Fire, and they did an excellent job here. I particularly love the song used at the ending because it puts the feelings into sound, and the way it syncs makes the ending that much more emotionally impactful, at least for me. As for the pros cons, I thought Her delivered a beautiful story about love and romance, excellent characters and acting, an awesome score, and a stellar ending. As for the cons, I honestly don't have any. I'm gonna give Her a 10 out of 10 and definitely recommend you check it out if you haven't already. If you like romance and drama films, this is one I'm pretty confident you'll enjoy. That is, if you can handle the obscure nature of the romance itself. So have you guys seen Her yet? What did you think of it? And if not, let me know why not. And also let me know your thoughts on the film and what it was trying to say. I'm interested to hear what you have to say about that. Either way, that's all for now. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.